Hey, hello, welcome back. This is the Knits and Makes podcast, episode 3. Today is September 10th. I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and my name is Livy. I'll include my Instagram handle below. And yeah, it's like the middle of September already. The long weekend just passed. Kind of crazy. It really feels like fall now. Like, it's been chilly at night. We've been trying to leave the windows open as long as possible because I hate closing the windows. I love sleeping with the windows open at night, but it's been like cold, which I love. I'm fine with that. I'm wearing my slippers right now. I love it. Okay. Yeah, so I've been doing a ton of knitting. I'm going to show you some things that I have finished, some things that I've started, some things that I'm still working on. And then last week I kind of hinted that I would talk to you a little bit about my yarn spinning, so I have some of that to talk to you about today, which is very exciting. So let's get into it. We'll start with the thing that I finished. So I showed this last time. This is my Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie May Designs. And it has sleeves, which is very exciting. Oh, this thing has been like 80% done for so long, and it just didn't have sleeves for the longest time. So I'm really bad for finishing sleeves. They're so easy. They really take no time. And once I get going, they fly off the needles. I knit these. So the first Cozy Classic Raglan that I ever knit, I did 3/4 sleeves, which I like. I like that quite a bit. I think I mentioned before that I'll knit full length sleeves and that's fine, but a lot of times I end up rolling them up anyways, so save me time. I'll just knit them shorter. So these sleeves are like bracelet length. They fall not quite 3/4 sleeves, but not quite at my wrist. They're a little bit just before my wrist, which I really like. I really like the fit of it. I blocked it like 2 days ago and it's still damp because like I mentioned, it's chilly and cold and gloomy, so the air circulation in here has not been the best, so it's taken like 2 days to dry, which is fine. But I tried it on today and it fits really well. When I first tried it on, it was a little bit stiff. I knit it with 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together to make a DK weight. So it was like a little bit stiff at first, but since I blocked it, it's really soft, it's really nice. Also the neckline, before I blocked it, it was a little bit but now it's perfect. It sits exactly where I want it to. Last night, was it last night or the night before? Anyways, I finally wove in my ends. It had a lot of ends to weave in because it's a fade, so everywhere that I broke off yarn and added new yarn, I had to weave in those ends, which is fine. I also added a tag. I love this tag. It's hilarious. It says, "This is the back," which is funny because when you have a hand knit sweater, it's hard to tell which way is the back. You can kind of tell because usually the front neckline is a little bit lower and the top is the back is higher. But you kind of have to hold it up and which way is, oh, that's the front. But these tags are from Kylie and the Machine. I think she's in Australia. So I got a pack of these and then another style, and they're really cute, and I just thought that was funny because this is the back. You can never figure out which way is the back. So anyways, this is my Cozy Classic Raglan, and it's all done, and I'm very happy. So that's that. I'll update you on my Azar sweater. I haven't shown this since the first episode. I didn't talk about it last time because I had only done an inch worth of progress, so it wasn't worth showing. This thing is big. So I'm loving how it's looking. Let me just figure out which way it goes. That's the front. See? Which side is the back? Who could say? So, okay. So this is what it looks like. It's got sleeves, 2 sleeves, which was me trying to make sure that I could actually finish this sweater because, like I just said, I really am bad for finishing the sleeves. I'll knit the body and be like, ah, maybe someday. But I was determined to get this sweater done because I love it. It's beautiful. The color's really nice. The wool is really rustic. Like I thought it would be really nice for fall and winter. So I've got sleeves. The color work is done. I just need to finish the body. So the body is quite a bit longer than it was the last time I showed it. And normally I like my knit sweaters to be cropped, just because like when they're like oversized and straight down on me, it doesn't look the best, and that's just me. But this sweater is quite oversized, and I think, like, I looked back at the pattern and it did suggest like there is a bit of positive ease. I think like maybe 10 inches of positive ease, and I definitely could have knit the size down and it probably would have been like the more perfect fit. Not that oversized is a problem. I really don't mind that at all. Like I like oversized sweatshirts. I just haven't really knit anything oversized like this, and it's oversized with fingering weight yarn, so it's taking forever. So yeah, so just like the amount of stitches that I have to go around is it's just taking me a long time. And I've been like sitting down and chugging away at it, but I was nervous. I tried it on and I was nervous about the way that it was fitting. Like it was, for the amount of yarn that I had left. I had one small ball of yarn left. So this is the yarn that I'm using. This is Jamieson and Smith. So it's, if you know Jamieson and Smith, it's quite rustic. It's like scratchy. It's called shade 32, but it's like it's a nice orange color. So these are 50-gram balls, and you get, sorry, they're not, they're 25-gram balls, and you get 125 yards, which is fine. But I had like half of one of these left, and it was like still cropped. Like I was like, okay, if it's gonna be oversized, we're gonna do this properly. It's gonna be full length so that I can wear it with leggings and it'll be perfect. But I did not have enough yarn left for that. So I went to my local yarn store because that's where I got the yarn from originally, and I got 2 more balls. So hopefully, like I don't need a ton more length, but I do need like a few inches, and include the ribbing in that. So with what I had before, I probably had enough to do like a little bit and then the ribbing, but we're going all out. So that's where this is. This is the Azor sweater. Who's it by? I have the name in my head. I'll include it because I think I'm thinking something else. But anyways, I do love it. I'm very excited to finish it. I'm very close. So hopefully by next episode that'll be done. I blocked it to double check how it's fitting, and after I blocked it I felt a lot better. So I think I just need to sit down, finish the rest, block it, and then we should be golden. So those were the 2 things that I had in progress. And I had one other thing in progress. So this is gonna look a little bit crazy because it's got like sleeves on hold and the body's on hold, and I'm working on a sleeve, but bear with me. So last episode I mentioned that I had started a sweater for a friend of mine, so for my friend Avery. So she had asked me to knit her a sweater. I'm knitting the Cozy Classic Raglan, a pattern that I love. I've knitted a few times now. This will be my 3rd. It's knitting up beautifully. So this is my progress. it's got a bit of a sleeve, another sleeve on hold, and then I've got the body on hold. So it comes to like mid waist right now, like just under the bust, which I'm super happy with. So I had wanted to have most of it finished so that the next time that I saw her, she could try it on and we could do a test fit, because I like to try my knits on part way to just like make sure that I haven't screwed anything up too badly. And I'm seeing her this weekend, so I'm very excited to let her try it on and see how it's fitting. Cross fingers, everything's going well. She gave me her measurements, and lucky for me, her measurements are very similar to mine, so I've been able to try it on and it fits me, and it fits very similarly to the other two Cozy Classic Raglans that I've knit, so I'm feeling good about that, but we'll see. So I wanted to have most of the body done and then hopefully one of the sleeves. So I have started one of the sleeves. I've got not too far. She asked for full length sleeves, so that's great. We're driving there tomorrow and the drive is like 5 hours. So I asked Jared to drive, my partner Jared. I asked him to drive so that I could knit the whole way. So I'll knit on this tonight and I'll be knitting on it tomorrow during the drive, and I'll definitely have that sleeve done by then, which will be perfect. So we can make sure that the sleeve length is correct and make sure that the waist is fitting, or like the garment is fitting well up to where I am at the waist. So I'm very excited about this. I love how it's knitting up. The color is beautiful. It's stunning. So I'm very happy with it. It feels really nice. It's really soft. I think it's going to be like a great staple for her wardrobe. Very fall, very nice. So I'm seeing her this weekend so we can test the fit, and then I'm getting together with our friend group again in like 3 weeks. So if I can confirm that everything's going well right now with the fit, then I will probably have it done when we get together again in October. So anyways, that's the progress on that. I'm super happy with that. So because I actually finished something and I'm chugging away on the other two, I didn't feel too bad starting another project. Well, I started 2 new projects, but let's get into it. So last episode I did mention, I showed you some yarn that I had, which was Hello Stella yarn, and the plans. I kind of talked about the plans that I had for that yarn. So I started one of the sweaters, and this is my progress on the Mackworth sweater. So I hope it's showing properly, but there is color work, obviously. I love how it's looking so far. Like, hello. I think this is gonna be super nice to wear. It's very soft, it's fingering weight, so it's really light. But I love knitting color work because it goes so fast. Like the yoke and the increases go really fast because you're, I don't know, you're just excited to get to the next section. So I've completed 2 of the charts and I have 2 more charts to go. This section here, like with the curves, is the biggest section, and then the next section is going to be like a mirrored repeat of this, and then the bottom has like triangles on it. So I'm very excited. I'm making great progress on that, which is great. So then we'll get past the color work and then we can separate for the sleeves, and then we'll see where it goes, because it's fingering weight and I do want to finish it. I'm very excited to finish it. It's just one of those, like, after you get past the fun part, you're like, oh, but I can cast on something else. So I'm gonna finish it, I promise. But anyways, that is the Mackworth sweater by Andrea Mowry, and it's designed very well. I pretty much always knit the same size in her patterns, and so far, like, everything's knitting up properly. I'm very happy with how it's going, so we'll just keep chugging along and see where we get to. So the next item that I had cast on was a sock. I enjoyed knitting those socks I showed previously, the Not Another Ruffle sock, which is now available. It came out last week, last Saturday on the 5th of September, so you can find that. I'll link that below. That was a pattern designed by Not Another Pearl on Instagram and Jonah Bailey, and I love those socks. And I enjoyed knitting them so much that I wanted to cast on another sock. So let me show you. I haven't got too far, but this is the sock that I'm working on right now. So this sock the pattern is called Wildflowers and Honeycomb, and it's by This Handmade Life on Instagram. So, but I'm doing it a bit modified. I've modified a few things. So first thing that I modified is the cuff. So there is a 3x1 rib cuff, which looks great. In the pattern, it's a 3x1 twisted rib. And I don't love twisted rib personally. And that's just because I was knitting wrong for a long time when I first started knitting, and I knit a lot of socks when I first started. And I did all of my stitches twisted, and it bugs me so much. So now every time I see twisted stitches, in my head I'm like, oh, that's wrong, even though I know it's not. I know it's a design feature, and a lot of people prefer it for cuffs. Like, it gives it a bit more, like, it makes the cuffs a little tighter and they fit a little better. But personally, I don't like the way that they look, so my cuff is a little bit loose, and I don't care. I don't care about that. So also another modification that I did, you can see there's some design here. So there's some lace work. That's the like wildflower part of the design, I think. So there's some lace repeats, and I think originally the pattern calls for like 2 extra repeats of this lace design, which looks beautiful, but it's just a taller sock. So I just wanted ankle socks, which is fine. So I did 2 or like 1 section of repeats for the lace work, and then I started my heel. Somebody's honking. What is happening? That's super annoying. Anyways, sorry. I live near a major road, so like sometimes there's noise and it's the worst, but anyways. So yeah, so I knit 1 repeat of the lace work, and then I got to the heel. I modified the heel as well. So the pattern called for a heel flap and gusset design, which I did, but the heel flap that she had originally created in the pattern, it was a honeycomb heel flap, and I didn't want to do that. I did a Eye of Partridge heel instead, so I'll show you. So this is what my heel looks like. Eye of Partridge is just, it's a slipped heel, like a slip stitch heel, but it's like alternating slip stitches, so it kind of gives it like a diamond pattern, which I really like. And it makes the heel, it reinforces the heel a little bit. I think that the honeycomb heel is also like that, like it's not the same design, but it does give it a little bit of reinforcement so the heel doesn't wear it quite as fast. But I like this heel when I'm doing a heel flap and gusset, so that's what I did. So right now I am on the body of the foot, the main part of the foot. I've finished my gusset. I just need to finish knitting the foot, and then I'm gonna do a wedge toe heel. So yeah, that's my sock. I've just started the one. I just like having a sock on my needle so that I can like pick it up and work on it now and again if I don't want to like do color work or work on a big sweater or something like that. So I have my sock in a Miss Brown's bag. It's a little like wedge bag. It's like the perfect size. So I have my sock in here, and I have 2 other balls of yarn. Yeah, I've got the ball of yarn that I'm using for this sock, and then a ball of yarn, the ball of yarn that I used for my previous sock, and a mini skein as well. So this holds lots. I also have on here, it's a little reminder how to do Kitchener stitch. It's actually really handy. So it's a little laser cut tag, and it's done by Katrinkles. Her website's on here, katrinkles.com. And she does all kinds of little laser cut things for knitters, and I love this thing. I always forget how to start Kitchener stitch so that's when I stitch up my toe. When I'm like finish my wedge toe, I have to Kitchener it closed. I always forget how to start your Kitchener. It's like 1 down and off the needle and 1 up and leave it on the needle, something like that. So I have a reminder so that I don't have to look it up every time I need to finish my socks, which is very handy. So yeah, that's my sock that I'm working on. It's just great to have. That's the end of what I'm knitting on right now. So I have a few works in progress, which is great. I like having different things to work on. I like having the variety, but not too many things to work on, because that can be, then I start to forget about things and never finish them. I do have one new purchase that I will share with you. I know I said that I wasn't buying yarn for a little while, and I'm not buying like sweater yarn, but I have a project in mind for this. So this just came today and I'm very excited about it. So first off, this is a J. Hendry Design Co. bag. So I made my purchase through Full Moon Fibers website, and J. Hendry, so Jessica and Allison are sisters, and they're from Barrie, Ontario, and they run Full Moon Fibers together. But Jessica also makes bags, so she alone is J. Hendry Design Co., but she also partners with Full Moon Fibers, and their website is one together. So I got a little bit of yarn and a couple bags. So this is one of her bags. I love this design. The tie-dye is so cute. It is so cool. I think it's linen. Like it feels really nice. Like it's a really structured bag. I love this like curved top, and the zipper is really nice. It's really sturdy. Like the base is a good size. Like this bag is bigger than I thought that it would be. Like just looking at it on the website, like I knew it was big enough for like a couple skeins of yarn, but like this is a good size. Like I mean, it's comparable. Like this is my Mrs. Brown's bag. I mean, it's pretty much the same base, but like this is taller. And then here's this is my field bag. So this is what my Fringe Supply field bag looks like, and this is this bag. So like it's sizable, which is great because like it's good to have a variety of sizes because all of your projects are different sizes. So anyways, I'm very excited about this. It's got pockets on the inside. This is like a close-up of the inside. There's her tag, pockets in there. Yeah, great bag. Very happy with that. I also got this like wee little bag. And so this is just for notions. It's a little notions pouch. It's so tiny and so cute. Like, come on. And it has these little kitties on it and the flowers. I was like, give me that. So I grabbed that too. And this is the yarn that I got. So this is a mini skein set. Look at this. This is their label, and it's got all of their information on the back. So this colorway, this is a tie-dye mini set. So like the colors are awesome. And they've got them like wound together here. I'm gonna take them apart so we can like get a good look at that. Like it's like a rainbow pack. I'm pretty stoked. So yeah, there's a pink, like a yellow, a green, oh, now we're getting all twisty, a green, blue, and then like a purple. So like this is like a perfect fade. So I just loved this. It's like tie-dye. I got the like tie-dye bag, matchy. It's so good. I'm very excited. So, Allison and Jessica have a podcast, the Full Moon Fibers podcast. And I think in the first 2 episodes, Allison was wearing this cowl and I was obsessed with it. Like I don't love cowls, but this one, it was called, what was it called? The Ache Cowl, AEQUE. I'll include the information about that. And it was just like a little simple cowl, but it had like a triangle, like a bandana. And it was so cute. And she had it faded with minis, like mini skeins. So I was like, I'll put that, like tuck that away in my mind and remember that if I ever see, that's my cat, she's just doing her thing. If I ever see a set of mini skeins that I like the way they fade, I want to do that cowl. So, and then of course they come out with the perfect fade. So I was like, oh, give me that. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that. I'm not going to start that yet. I need to probably finish my Azor sweater first. But now that I've shown you, I mean, I can start at any time, I suppose. So that's the only thing that I purchased. I'm very excited about it. I've got plans. I don't need to buy any yarn without knowing what I'm going to do with it. That's the problem, is like you see really pretty yarn, especially on Instagram, like, and now that it's the fall, all the fall colors are coming out. So everybody's posting these beautiful skeins of yarn and I'm like, oh, I'll just buy that, but I don't have a plan for it. So I would like to do less of that, where I'm just like, add 1 to cart, because what are you gonna do with that? I can only make so many scrappy sweaters or so many socks, like, so I need to have a plan. And when I saw this yarn, like, I have a plan, I know what I'm doing, it's gonna be great. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to share with you is my hand spun yarn. Honey, please. She needs to get her shit together. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some of my hand spun yarn. I recently, like since March, the pandemic, all of that good stuff, I found locally on Kijiji, somebody was selling a spinning wheel for a reasonable price. Like, they are expensive. So I did not want to buy one new without knowing if it was something that I was going to love. So I was super excited. I found one used on Kijiji in my city. So I picked that up a couple months ago and I've been loving it. It took me a little while to figure out how it works. I had to watch like a lot of videos of people going through their wheel, and I learned that there was actually a piece of the wheel that was missing, and it's a knob that adjusts the tension. So it took me a long time to figure out that like my tension was not right or how to manipulate that. But anyways, I was able to purchase a new piece, which is great. That solved all my problems, so it works like a dream now. And I've made some pretty cool yarn. So I'm going to show you. I'll show you what I made first. So this yarn was the first yarn that I spun. So I'll give you a close-up of that. So this is what it looks like. It's plied together. So it's like a purple plied together with a like multicolor pastel. The purple I spun that first on a hand spindle. So that is a very different process than doing it on a spinning wheel. But that was kind of my first taste, and when I was doing it by hand, I was enjoying it. And it was like, I loved the result. It was very exciting. So I felt comfortable moving up to the spinning wheel. again, very different. They're very different, but I definitely enjoy the wheel more now than doing it by hand. So my first yarn, like my first ball of yarn, it's a bit like, it's imperfect. It's over plied, like it's pretty twisty, but it's usable. Like I had some sections that were kind of unusable and I cut them out, which is fine. So, but this is fine. I can use this. And I learned a ton from this process. So with spinning yarn, you actually have to do it in like a couple stages. So me personally, I like to ply my yarn. Some people don't. Some people leave it as a single, which is totally fine. It just gives a little bit of a different result. So at first, and I still do, okay, I ply my yarn with 2 strands together. So you have to basically spin 2 singles and then spin them again together to twist them, which is fine. It's great. So like with this yarn, I spun 2 different colors. I had the purple done first and then the iridescent multicolor one, and then I twist them together. I love the result. Very great. Another option you can do is chain plying. So that's taking your single spun yarn and spinning it against itself in a chain. It's very interesting and it took me a while to get my hands used to doing that motion, but I really like the result and the way that it looks. So an example of that is this yarn. So I chain plied this and you can see like it's all the same color. So I only use one color for this and plied it with itself. So you can see that the twist is a little bit different between the two, but they're very similar. Again, I was very proud of how these ones came out later on. So, so I do both. I'll ply 2 together, or I'll single ply or chain ply 1 single against itself. So the next wool that I spun was this one. It's like pretty purples. This was a Malabrigo. I don't remember what they all were. I've written some of them down and I have made an effort to measure them. So I'm keeping track of how much yarn I'm getting, the yardage that I'm getting, and then I will weigh them as well. So I found a design online for how to create your own nitty noddy, which is like this guy. So this is a nitty noddy. Technically you have like 1 bar going this way and 1 bar going the other way. So when my yarn is done being spun, I will wind it on my nitty noddy, and this just gets the length. So I have it written down so I remember it's 1.5 yard skein. So once I have a full loop around this guy, that's 1.5 yards. So I can count how many strands I have, and that's the yardage that I have for a skein of yarn, which is great. It's helpful to keep track of. I was reading somewhere that the weight of hand spun yarn is different than the weight of like commercially spun yarn, like purchased spun yarn. So like 100-gram skein of my yarn might have less yardage than 100-gram skein of even indie dyed yarn, because that's coming from like a factory that they get the same yardage every time. It's perfect. This is imperfect. So I'm getting like all different weights. Like I have some is a little bit chunkier. This is very fine. This one is like, I'm sure that it's a fingering, like a light fingering weight, which is great. In comparison, like you can see that this is quite a bit bulkier. So this one, like I love the colors of this one. This is very fall. I got a lot of yardage out of this. So I would probably want to do like a color work yoke with this guy. Like I think that the transition between the colors would be really fun. So that's kind of an idea that I had for that. So one of the things that I would really like to do is knit a shifty sweater. That is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and she uses Spin Cycle yarn for that, which is also like it's like a commercially hand spun yarn. So it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. It's a little bit out of my budget, but since I can spin my own yarn, I was thinking of doing that. So these are the colors that I was thinking of doing my shifty sweater in. So grab this guy. So I was thinking of doing these colors. So they're all kind of like pastels. I think that they would be really nice all knit together, and it would be like a fade, like one color would fade into the next color and then fade into the next color and then into the next color. The construction is really interesting. It's nothing that I've ever done, but anyways, I just thought that these were great. So that's my plan for my hand spun yarn. So this is another one that I've done. This is like a blue, and I chain plied this one as well. I almost don't know how to talk about this stuff, but anyways, it is what it is. I can just show you. I've been super enjoying spinning. It hurts my back a little bit because I'm like sitting up straight, and like you're kind of like moving your body a little bit because you have to like pedal with your one foot, and then like your hands are going, and like you're just like sitting kind of rod straight for so long that I kind of get like, oh, my back is stiff. But so I shouldn't sit down and do it for like 5 hours at a time, but that's okay. This is the most recent yarn that I've spun, and I've already wound it into a cake because I'm really excited to start knitting with it. This is what this looks like. So this is an art bat that I got from Adele's Locks of Love, and she is not, like, she doesn't have a website, she doesn't have Instagram, I don't think she has Instagram, but she does all of her sales through Facebook. And I have some of the bat left, and let me show you. It's beautiful. I'll open it up. It's kind of crazy. Like, there are a lot of things going on here. But it's just, like, there's sparkles, there's different colors. Like, the base is black, but it has a lot of blue in it, and purple and green. And it's just so pretty, and it's really fun to spin with. I've only purchased yarn that's like, or wool that's like pretty processed. Like I buy a lot of Ashford, like that's commercial, because that's what's available at my local yarn store. But so Adele on Facebook, she sells, I don't know where she gets her wool from, and I think she dyes a lot of it herself, but she'll sell these like packs and like kits, and it's just wild. It's just whatever she's got, but she'll sell them in color families. So when she posted this one, I was like, give me that. So I was lucky enough to snag them because they do go quickly, and I think it was like 9 ounces, like it was like a big quantity. So I've already made 2 small skeins of it, and both of these I ended up getting pretty close to the same weight, and the strands of yarn are a little bit bulkier. So I want to make mittens out of these. I think that this would make beautiful mittens, and the wool is just super nice and soft, but very like authentically woolly. So I think it would be like perfect and super warm for mittens. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to share. I'm very excited to actually start knitting with some of the yarn that I've spun up. So hopefully in the next couple episodes I'll have something actually knit to show you, because that would be really cool. And maybe I'll finish some things that I'm working on as well. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!